I'm sure you may have also spoken about it, the 3-day state visit. He will be in Zambia. This is where I am at the moment, waiting for the arrival of the Vice President. We understand the Chief of Staff will be here and some top government officials as well to see the President off. And currently, the Air Force band will be performing at the tarmac here at the Jubilee Lounge at the Kotoka International Airport. It's made up of 96 rank and file, 2 guides, 2 color escorts, 1 conducting warrant officer. So that's what forms the Air Force band. And I'm sure you can see that on your screen now, going to form a parade to wait for the arrival of the Vice President, Her Excellency Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman, in the next few minutes. Yes, the Air Force band is trooping to form a parade to wait for the arrival of the President to see him off. So all these are part of the departure formalities before the arrival of the Vice President. And for those who have just joined us, this is a live coverage from the Jubilee Lounge at the Kotoka International Airport. So Randy, what is significant about this is that at the background from where the Air Force band is forming their parade is an aircraft. This aircraft is here at the pleasure of the Dubai authorities. They have voluntarily allowed this to come here to transfer our President to Dubai. And then I'm sure you may have also spoken about it, the 3-day Air Force band is forming their parade. Is an aircraft. This aircraft is here at the pleasure of the Dubai authorities. They have voluntarily allowed this to come here to transfer our President and other top officials who will be accompanying him to that country for the event that's scheduled to take place from tomorrow. Randy, this is significant because you remember last year, to be specific, December, the President attended the Doha Forum in Qatar. And again, the Emir of that country, Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani, also deployed an aircraft to transport the President and his delegation to their country. So it only suggests how they respect our President. So on the screen as we speak is the motorcade of the Vice President, Professor Jane Nana Opoku-Agyeman, arriving just before the President joins. I can tell you that some officials who are traveling with the President are already boarding the aircraft. So in short is the Vice President. She will be accompanied by other officials who will be seeing off our President. Now let me walk you through what is significant about this trip to Dubai. The President will be in Dubai at the invitation of the authorities of that country, and this particular visit is very, very significant because the President will be attending 2 special events. One is the United Arab Emirates will be participating in the World Government Summit 2026, which is scheduled for Monday, that's tomorrow, February 2nd to the 4th. President Mahama, according to the briefing we have, will be transported to Dubai on board this special aircraft provided by the ruler of the United Arab Emirates, which is also taking him and his delegation to Zambia. So beyond taking or flying the President to Dubai, this same aircraft will be available to fly our President to the Zambia, where he will be on a 3-day state visit. A number of activities, I understand, will be taking place in Dubai from tomorrow. And don't forget that this special event is coming at a time when many people revere our President for his bold statements at the international platforms, calling especially on Africa and like-minded countries to think about weaning themselves of dependency on aid from the US and other Western countries, especially when those countries themselves have already started cutting off aid. The president believed that Africa has a number of, a lot of resources. It can be gold, it can be oil, it can be diamonds, it can be forest resources, etc. Even the human resource. And he has been advocating for Africa to leverage on the Africa Continental Free Trade Area. He has had the opportunity to address several conferences, both at the United Nations General Assembly, at AU events, at events organized by the Economic Community of West African States. In short, is the Chief of Staff, Mr. Julius Debra, who will be joined by the Chief of Staff at the Office of the Vice President, Alex Sebefia. I see Ambassador Akins, in short, the Minister for Communications, Sam Jata George, the Deputy Minister for Defense is also, in short, the Inspector General of Police. All these dignitaries are here to join the party that will be seeing the president off. Of course, some of them will be on flight to Dubai and, of course, to Zambia, where the president will be participating in the event. Yeah, you recall that the president has been very passionate about this particular initiative. He jointly launched in Accra somewhere last year with the former president of Liberia, Olusegun Obasanjo. You recall that when the president attended the UN General Assembly meetings in September last year, he was very vociferous in rallying a number of world leaders to join him to launch this particular initiative. For example, the Prime Minister the chairman of the Access Bank was there. The president of Kenya, William Ruto, was at that event. Dr. Ngozi, if you recall, she has been the Director General of the World Trade Organization, was there. The WHO boss, Dr. Tedros, was also there. This event, he has recently been at the World Economic Forum in Davos, and he spoke passionately about it. So I strongly believe that the summit he will be addressing in Dubai, the president's statement will not leave this particular initiative, which is dear to his heart. Beyond that, the president has also been addressing a number of issues with regards to what we in Ghana see as the reset agenda, which he has extended to many African leaders to rethink or reposition themselves to look at how they can improve on governance, reduce corruption, empower the youth, create job opportunities, industrialize their countries, share resources, and of course, what they can do best with many countries, looking at countries to the east, which have demonstrated commitment to do good business with Africa, unlike the traditional Western countries, which appear to be fatigue, donor fatigue is setting in, and for that reason, we are not getting much from those countries. So, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, as you see in your shots, is just arriving here at the Jubilee Lounge at the Kotoka International Airport. The president, as soon as he arrives, will be witnessing the parade formed by the Air Force Regimental Band, which will be performing. Then the president will take the necessary protocols before he walks into the private jet, which has been put at his service by the authorities in Dubai. I can tell you that Ghana has regained its image in the global community, especially after the election of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. You recall that during his inauguration, we had over 45 presidents and senior officials from various countries who, so I'll come back to that. So you see the Vice President who has just received His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. The two are very good friends. The president has much respect for the vice president. He has consistently described as somebody who is a pillar behind him, giving him all the inspiration. And being the first female president, the two, especially because they gel, have been governing this country, and we have all seen the results. But let's wait briefly and listen to the formalities to be presented by the Air Force Regimental Band, and then we come back to the conversation.
show, date, us. Date, us. Galapona, stand, out, east.
And so His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and Vice President are having tete-a-tete. If the President leaves the country, the Vice President becomes the acting President according to the dictates of our Constitution. And so as the President is leaving, Her Excellency Professor General Opoku-Agyeman will be holding the fort. So the two leaders are having the last bits of conversations and what the President perhaps may be instructing her to do. So then you're short, you have officials from the Ghana Police Service and other security agencies, the Deputy Defense Minister taking his turn to have a handshake with the President, and there it continues with the Chief of Staff at the Office of the Vice President, Chief of Staff Julius Debra, as we know, a very jovial, very smart man who the President believes is also going to be covering his back, shoulder to shoulder from the Vice and the Chief of Staff. But Kweku, let me continue with some information that Randy spoke about. You were asking me the significance of this visit and more so what the world community has to say or perceive about our President, who is just about entering this special flight which has been put at the service of our President by the authorities in Dubai. And so the President has just entered the flight. The President, according to what we have gathered, is somebody who has walked the talk, has demonstrated the respect he's earning from the international community, this respect and admiration for his visionary leadership, and the series of bold, influential speeches has been delivered since his re-election, particularly focusing on reforming global governance, advocating for Africa's interest on the international market. You talked about the Accra reset. Don't forget that he was at the Munich Security Conference where he spoke strongly about Africa's health sovereignty. He was at the 80th UN General Assembly meetings in September where he advocated for a reform of global systems, including the UN, to better reflect the current realities, specifically calling for a permanent African seat on the UN Security Council. Again, he has highlighted African global importance. And so at Dubai, we expect the President to highlight the major economic gains over the past year, the CD, the strength we have in our economy, the investor confidence. But see, United Arab Emirates is known as one of the wealthy countries. So for the authorities to put this plane at the pleasure of our President to fly to Dubai and of course to also chauffeur him to Zambia will tell you how they value who he is. This is a man who even before the AU chairmanship position is handed over, Economic Community of West African States, the foreign ministers overwhelmingly voted to endorse President Mahama as the sole candidate for the chairmanship position of the African Union, which was backed by the presidents of ECOWAS countries. So President Mahama stands tall. In his first term in office, I believe he did a lot that many African countries believe. And so at this stage, he is rubbing shoulders with many world leaders, and he has spoken extensively on many issues across the globe, beyond Ghana, looking at issues in Africa, looking at Sudan. Don't forget, Ghana has demonstrated comradeship. Just recently, we donated our widow's mite to Jamaica, to those countries in the Caribbean which were battered by storm. We've seen Ghana demonstrating same to African countries which are plagued by war. And so beyond the rhetorics, he is walking the talk, doing things that is gaining the admiration. And in these days that everything you do in any small corner, it is all over the world. I believe that that is what is giving him that respect. When he spoke at Davos, the Accra reset, you would recall that that was a very powerful statement. And so we expect that in Dubai, our president will make a powerful statement, and when he goes to Zambia, and Zambia, he'll be addressing the parliament, you'll be having bilateral talks, and there will be another economic summit that you'll be attending. So all these will project Ghana on the global front. Yes, obviously. I believe that after the summit in Dubai, we should have some bilateral talks on the sidelines of this event, which will translate into some agreements to be announced later. So we can only wait for what will happen at this event. This president has big initiatives. The big push, industrializing our country with agriculture as the base, where they are planning to develop the Volta basin, tap water to irrigate the arable land within the enclave around the Volta Lake. Of course, industrializing Ghana, embarking on massive infrastructure projects in the road sector, in the health sector, education, etc. So our president obviously is looking for where he can get people who believe in Ghana, who of course will have been following his achievements, and it will make it an easy push for him. So the president is inside the plane as we speak. The Air Force band is marching off. The government officials led by the vice president, who will now be acting as soon as the president leaves the shores of this country, are waiting to see the plane take off before they also depart. So I can say that the program or the brief ceremony to see off our president officially is ended. Let's listen briefly to the band as they march off, and then we wrap up. Randy.
Advance, right, sit. Kalapate, much of the color. Garafana, present, us.
So we are live from the Jubilee Lounge at the Kotoka International Airport. That's a special jet which was flown here from Dubai. It's going to fly our president right to the United Arab Emirates. President Mahama is visiting that country to attend a summit. He will be participating in the World Government Summit 2026, which is scheduled for Monday, February 2nd to the 4th. President Mahama, according to the briefing we have, will be there for 2 days before departing to Zambia for a 3-day state visit. At Dubai, our president will also be participating in another very important event, that is the Summit of Economic Interest Groups. And then later, on the 4th of February 2025, our president will now fly to Zambia. Now, in Zambia, two very important things will be happening. President Mahama's 3-day state visit will involve bilateral talks with the President Hakainde Hichilema, who will be accompanied by Her Excellency Mrs. Lordina Dramani Mahama, the First Lady of the Republic. She is among the delegation attending the 3-day visit in Zambia with the President. President Mahama will share Ghana's vision for a more integrated and prosperous Africa. He will meet members of the Ghanaian community. He would also be addressing the National Assembly of Zambia. There will also be a Ghana-Zambia business dialogue to be co-chaired by the presidents of the two countries. The dialogue will provide a platform for Ghana to showcase its digital technologies and fintech services to to Zambian businesses and government institutions, fostering economic partnerships and knowledge between the two countries. So in your short, the ceremonies are over, the handshakes are over, the red carpet is being folded, which signifies that any moment from now, flight will take off and our president will be airborne safely in the next 8 hours, will be landing in Dubai. Dubai, and then I'm sure you may